Hey, welcome to the Lens Lane podcast. So today we're joined by DJ Bomba and Leeroy.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for having us.
So this is the first episode of the year. So welcome. Thanks for being here, introducing us into this year.
No, anytime, dude. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it that you having us here and
Yeah.
are willing to have us speak about our community and what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So let's get into that. I want to hear like about After Dark, right? Because I know the After Dark events company. You guys have both been performing at those events for a long time. So like, where did you guys get into that? How did you get the connect to being there?
I think Lee can start there. Use the first one.
Well, for me, because obviously we all know Snowy handles that. So, and I knew Snowy was, we used to go to high school together. And, for him, he started it was last year. First event was last year, Jan. And
early last
year, Jan. So he just hit me up,
Yeah.
And that was basically my first gig, if I can say. So yeah.
So you already knew how to DJ at that point?
Well, it was like the fourth month into DJing, because I bought a little controller, but that was when I was still in high school, so 2018.
Yeah.
So I bought a little controller, started racking up some mixes, seeing how it goes. But for me, it was just getting the basics out.
Yeah.
Well, basics of DJing, like beat matching and all that stuff. Then from there, the first event After Dark wasn't too great, because it was a trap night, and I was supposed to play deep house or house music. So started playing house. Jens were telling me that play hip hop, play hip hop, and for me it was like, yes, I didn't have I didn't set myself to play hip hop that night. So I did play like 30 minutes. Then I told Caesar, the fellow Caesar McKnight. Then he started playing hip hop. Then
How is that though? Like, I've never been behind the decks. I've never had that kind of experience. Like when. Yo, my phone's just on. Anyways, let's continue. So like, I've never seen how you guys switch between songs. Cause like, do you come with a list of tracks like that you already mix sort of together, or is it completely you just have a library of music that you can shuffle through and then?
So I think it differs between exactly what you're trying to do and the level of skill that you have as a DJ. So if you like a brand new DJ, you'll have your songs where you can see what key you're mixing in and you'll stay in key. You won't really go out of key to be experimental, where you'll bring in separate vocals and stuff like that. That's stuff that more experienced DJs do, where you start playing with effects and more than one song at a time. Yeah. Once you learn how to actually do that stuff right, and you're doing it for the right reason, for the love of music, not for the clout as people call it. Standing behind those decks and mixing and getting everything synchronized to the point where everything, your whole hour set, 2 hour set sounds like one song, and you get to see that in people's faces, is honestly one of the best things. But going back to the library thing, this is what also kind of makes a DJ is his ability to read a crowd. Okay. So yes, you can come with a certain playlist, but that playlist may not suit the crowd that eventually comes while you're playing. So
you have to be able to change it up if you see they're not really vibing.
Definitely.
But that also comes in where your actual music knowledge starts to play. So there you'll need to start selecting songs which songs obviously don't sound too alike, but you've got certain songs that have certain elements which are very similar, and you start using songs like that, and then you can become extremely creative. People like Black Coffee, Shims will show us all the time.
So what genres do you guys prefer? I know you produce your own techno, right?
Yeah, so I do on Fridays I DJ either Afro tech, Afro house, piano, or hip hop. And then outside of that, I produce techno. I've just dropped my first single on all major platforms now.
Oh, yeah.
Emotionally linked, if anyone wants to hear it.
Shout out.
I've got a couple of new songs coming on the way. I've been in contact with 2 record labels in Germany. If all goes to plan, and contract goes as contract, I'll be signed to a record label in Switzerland.
That's dope.
And then I'll be flying every 3-4 months to go and perform there in Switzerland.
Yo, hectic. Okay. No,
so for me, it's like techno, but techno still has like a lot of subgenres. So you go minimal techno, melodic techno, which is what I prefer. But it's really interesting messing around with different sounds and stuff like that.
Because I know you, Leeroy, you do like mainly hip hop and house music.
Yeah,
right?
well, on Fridays it's mainly hip hop, but you know, sometimes I'll get the graveyard shift.
Yeah.
So that last hour before the club closes. So usually I'll just play house, dude. I'm a piano. That's what they call it.
I remember I've even come up to you at the grind and be like, dude, can you play I'm a piano now? Like, and it's only like 11 o'clock.
Really, that's the thing. You know? But
that's the standard thing. Everyone wants piano.
Everyone they do want piano, but you know, like for me, like my piano playlist is more matured, you know. Like, if we must be honest, like the people who do want my piano at the grind, it's usually like your usual hits. Like, you know, so
for sure,
like that, Indabakaban,
stuff like that, you know.
Like all the songs that are like popping at the moment,
basically,
people really
like
know.
your commercial I'm a piano. You just say,
But I mean, it's like sorry to cut in. It's like kind of similar with like hip hop music, you know. People only want to like. Not all people, but sometimes like when you're in the club, you just want bangers to come through.
Basically,
you know, you don't want like some song that might be good, but it's not like of the time. You know, you don't know how to dance to it or something. So I guess it's like similar thing with I'm a piano.
Yeah, same thing. Same, because if I just play like an I'm a piano song that literally has no lyrics, but the beats are pumping, you know, sometimes the crowd won't really react to it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
with the same enthusiasm.
Yeah. You know,
they may still react, but it just may not.
Whereas
to the same extent
with songs that do have lyrics, then obviously like it's pumping, crowd is pumping. But
So how do you notice the change in energy when you like maybe you switch between genres, or like you go to a song that people don't really enjoy? Do you notice it immediately?
You can.
This is a mess.
Before you even start mixing the other song out, you can see people's energy
die down a bit. If it's not a popular song.
They start dancing with their friends. They start facing you. They start looking at you a little bit more. And that's when pressure comes onto us. Okay, made a mistake. We have to correct it.
How easy is it to just correct it, or like get the hint and then like fade that song out quicker to change it up?
That's.
I mean, is that like a skill?
To get? That comes with time. Like with me, so he started, like going back to when he started, he had a little bit of time to start. I started 4 months after him, and then like I had almost always known how to DJ, but I'd always had a love for music, so I didn't really want to learn. I just wanted to know how to DJ, like, just for myself. And eventually one day Snow was also like
come through and so how was it like the first time having a crowd, you know, where you realize like, okay, shit, I'm doing something right, you know? Like, what was that feeling like when you realize, this is cool?
Have you ever gotten so much recognition for something that you've done that you literally smile from ear to ear for like 5 days straight, and your insides feel happy? It's like almost being in love.
Sure.
I'm being serious. It's always like being in love. It's seeing the energy you put out reflect on other people's faces. When you see them smile at you, when they're busy taking videos of you, you see those flashes on you. It's an indescribable feeling.
Yeah,
really is.
No, I can imagine. Like, I'm not one for having people like eyes on me, you know, but like I can imagine like when you releasing that energy, you know, just purely like energy, and it's getting shine back at you, you know, and then you know, I did something right.
And it's also like a different medium to express energies. So for like a person like me, example, I actually stutter quite a bit, so I tend not to talk to people a lot. But one way I express myself the best is through dancing and music. It's the one way I connect to people the best.
Yeah.
So
now that's dope that you like
hand.
found a way to like still, you know, shine as it were.
Yeah.
You know, and get that feeling.
Yeah.
So then I want to touch on I think like you started, I don't know if it's like a new music company.
Yeah.
Like
so a new
events.
music event. Yeah. The Music Box.
Yeah, Music Box.
So the original idea behind that came from. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Boiler Room.
Yeah.
And then there's also an electronic music channel on YouTube, and I'm not sure what other platforms they're on, known as Circle. And both Boiler Room and Circle aim to highlight the best at that time, right? So I remember coming home from a gig one night, and I was actually watching DJ Maporisa's home set for the Boiler Room and what's it, Valentine video.
Yeah, Valentine's.
And seeing the energy that he brought to the crowd, but also the different way it was set up. There's no restriction between you and the people. There's this closer connection. Like everyone surrounds you. Everyone can see what you're doing. There's no hiding, if you understand what I'm saying. So if you mess up, everyone sees you mess up.
Yeah.
And like that puts you to the test. And I was actually thinking to myself, like, why don't we do something similar to that, where we try and use music as a medium to like connect people, but not just like, okay, like I'm gonna have a hip hop Boiler Room, not all the hip hop people must come. It's like not like that at all. Like my idea behind it is to actually like, in terms of culture, religion, like help people understand more of other genres, and like where they come from. So let's say for like in Europe, for instance, a lot of people in Africa won't necessarily understand the sound, and vice versa with Africa and Europe. But when you do understand the sound and the sound grows, you eventually learn to appreciate it, and you want to hear more of it. So I wanted to take all of that like as a concept and put it into events where it's not just a strictly one genre event. So let's say one night, but like it happens like maybe once every 3 months, once every 4 months. One night we have a Boiler Room set or like a Music Box set. Which is 3 months later we have an EDM or like a drum and bass or a trap night. It, like constantly changing, showing people what's out there, what's new, what's actually going on around the world. Because there's so much music that's out there that we haven't even heard of, that we don't even think exists, type of thing. And I want to express that and show that. And then from that, I eventually want to start, I have already, but start posting these events on YouTube and stuff like that, so that people can see, like, that they don't necessarily need to be there to experience the vibe, but they can see the vibe beforehand. And again, like, having all genres under one page breaks that barrier of like, okay, cool, no, we can't go to this because it's hip hop, or we can't go to this because it's techno. Like I'm really trying to break that barrier. For me, like music is music. It's meant to be shared. It's meant to be enjoyed. It's not. There's not meant to be conflict in it. It's meant to bring peace and love, not hate. Yeah.
So where are you gonna host these Music Box events? Like in Pretoria here? Somewhere?
So the first one will be here in Pretoria. Undisclosed location for now. The artists have been booked.
Oh, okay.
But also undisclosed. I'll be releasing all information about a month's time. But I'm very excited for what's about to come. But the first one will definitely be in Pretoria.
So yeah, speaking of Pretoria, like you guys have obviously shaped the nightlife scene in Hatfield, like over the past year, because Friday nights, like having that hip hop night where like you guys like fill the grind.
Most of the time
you fill the grind to capacity, and for me that's like basically the only event that I actually go out of my way to go to the strip, you know, because I want to hear.
Cool. We appreciate that.
I want to hear hip hop music. I want to hear Amapiano, you know, and like there's no, I mean TFC is there, but that's not necessarily my scene, you know, like that's too deep into Amapiano. You know, I like to just chill there, but then also have the ability to go like to Jollies maybe for a little bit. Check out some of my friends there, hear that sound, then come back to the grind, you know, get in the mosh pit a bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I must say that like, in the beginning when we started, it was, okay, I was with them when they started it, but I wasn't a part of it when they started it. So for them, I'm sure it must have been something completely unexpected, because they didn't actually know what they were going into. Like, if you understand what I mean. Like, when it came about that After Dark was actually a thing, I can guarantee you quite a few members were surprised and were like, yes.
Yeah, very. Because, I mean, it started 2018 in August when Snowy and Caesar, that was the first time they went to the grind to play. Caesar was playing through his phone. I'm sure Snowy told you that story.
Snowy mentioned that.
So Caesar played through his phone, then literally like was just shaking. Then they had 3 other events from that first one.
Yeah.
Then those three were successful, but then there was a bit of a commotion. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
The grind like closed down.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. Then that's when everything was fine. Jan.
Yeah.
Then Snowy came up with the idea that no man, let's make up a company called After Dark, and then that's when it all kicked off. But first 2 months, 3 months, like it shook, I must say.
Yeah.
But then after 6 months, that's when it just started dying down. Just like anything would, die down. But yeah.
But I mean, also like maybe it's not just like what you guys were doing like caused it to die out, but
nah,
like,
definitely
change
not.
of seasons,
just change of
like
seasons and like students. I mean, like
Yeah.
after like first semester, like it starts to be tough.
Yeah.
And you can't always go out.
Yeah.
But I think.
So speaking like in terms of how students are only in Hatfield and like this area partying from say like February to November or like even October, because November is just exams.
Yeah.
So then when it gets into the festive season, are you guys still performing? Like are you getting gigs and all
December and stuff?
Yeah.
December and all
we
that.
are performing, but it's more for like exclusive things. So like not necessarily, like I don't want to say exclusive like as in it's like necessarily like a private party, but just like smaller events, but where it's not necessary to dance, but more to listen or to like to have fun too. And we really get to express our actual talent and stuff like that.
Yeah. So do you prefer like the general, and let me not say general, but like the every night or every Friday night where you're doing hip hop and stuff, or do you prefer those times when you can like sort of play around with your sound and see what people like?
I think like obviously like for Friday it's everything that happens every week. So what you're trying to say there, I think it maybe comes down to like what type of gigs or where you get your other gigs.
Yeah.
But in terms of Friday night at the grind, it's a Friday night at the grind. It's a shaking there, but yeah.
Nothing compares to that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah. So like I wanna touch on like how do you guys improve your skills? Like where do you learn? Like are you guys studying music, or how do you get better at being DJs and producing?
Usually I'd say it's more in terms of your content. So like what type of music you get, but in terms of skills, like
Practice.
just practice, dude. Like at this guy's house, like got a little bit of a studio there at the garage, so I'll bring my equipment and literally always trying to practice mixes and stuff like that, trying to create new things, basically.
And from that now we've actually come up with another idea. Actually, this will be the first time mentioning it to anyone.
Oh yeah, okay, exclusive content.
We bought last October.
Yeah.
No, was it a bit before that?
I think around September. I'm not too sure.
We played our first back-to-back set at Kofi here in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And the next week, we got feedback from the people who hosted it, and they were just like, "What the hell? That was absolutely crazy. We didn't know, like, you two together, destruction."
Yeah.
And like, so from then, we've been trying to think of a name. We've been recording mixes and we've been thinking of ideas, and we've come to the conclusion we're gonna start a duo called Black to White.
Hey, okay.
Another medium to break that cultural and racial barrier of music, to bring people together again. Because, I've seen it countless times. So, for Slushy example, Snowy and I were booked for a set. I think it was at 4:00, and by that time it was still hip hop. And Snowy came to me and he's like, do the unexpected, play what you normally play.
Yeah.
And I played I'm a piano for the first time at Slushy ever.
Yeah.
And to see that not only like colored and black people bonded with the music, but there were actually white people, Indian people, Asian. There was all races just having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
Going crazy. Gong, gong, gong.
Yeah.
So we soon going to start filming our sets.
Okay.
As a duo.
I've seen like little clips on Instagram where you guys are literally like sharing the decks at the same time. You guys both go in there and like that's super dope to see.
Yeah. But going back to your skill level, that I think plays a major part of that, because you actually need to know what you're doing, because now there's another set of hands doing the same thing at the same time. But you also need to know the person that you're playing with and their capabilities and like where their faults lie and where his strengths are.
Yeah.
And
so you actually have to like practice enough with each other to get that almost like, you know, that like natural feeling of like, oh, he's probably gonna do this.
Muscle memory, you know?
Yeah.
Just comes down to like, you know, because for me it's all about energy. If I'm gonna be playing with someone else, it comes down to energy. Obviously, like we've been playing with each other like for a while now, so we do know where we go wrong. So obviously we'll always
help each other
and stuff like that. But for me, it's all about the energy and, you know, communication and just understanding each other. Yeah, and ends there.
So do you guys get gigs together or like at different places, not just the grind on Fridays? Like I've seen at Kofi you guys perform together, and anything else?
So at Kofi, it wasn't an actual thing. We just tested it. So from now, actually, we're going to start looking for gigs as a duo, as if we've just announced it. But no, we actually haven't.
Because the thing is that Kofi, there was a thing of they would book both of us to play amapiano. So we just said, no, man, let's rather just let's play with each other, back to back, back to back.
Both sets.
But yeah, both sets. Then it just basically started from there. But we haven't had a gig where it's just black to white gig. But
well, technically we have at the grind, but not like where it's officially black to white.
No, not official,
No, it's just Bomba and Leeroy back to back.
So what is it like getting booked for gigs? Like how often are you guys performing if you don't have like a residency at the grind?
Obviously, I mean, like week? For me, it's my first. It's still my first. It's my second year. Let me just say playing, and he's probably reaching a year now.
Yeah, I'm just under.
Just under. I'm over. Yeah. So gigs would literally just be the grind. And sometimes at Coffee, maybe a few house parties. I've done a few house parties, but I mean, like for now, it's still early in the year, so really just trying to push our names out there. Then see how it goes, basically.
Yeah. So for me, it is a little bit different. I've got a little bit, but that's because of my music diversity. So I've gone from like Madison's to Jolly's, to Jinx in Joburg. So I've I've tried to plant my foot where I can. Obviously, I am still up and coming. Like in total, I think it's only been like an actual 9 months, a full 9 months that I've been DJing. Yeah. So I have been blessed to grow quite fast, but I was also blessed with the opportunity to have a studio where I can practice every day and stuff like that.
Yeah. How important do you think that sort of thing is to people like yourself, like performers, to have a place to practice and like, you know, being able to work at your craft so easily, kind of thing?
You know, if it's your passion, I think it will kind of hurt you a little bit if you don't have that space to go and be free and do what you actually want to do. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if it's your passion, it's something you love doing. So, like, if someone paints, they've got a passion for painting, they'll have a room where they can go and paint. Yeah. So, for someone who doesn't have a passion for it and is doing it for the wrong reasons, he won't necessarily find it important to practice because he'll feel that, okay, I've gotten to where I need to be, and I'll just basically practice every time I perform. And it actually doesn't come down to that. Yeah.
How long does it take you to put together a particular set? Like if you know, okay, I'm performing next week Friday, do you have something set up already, or are you always trying to renew it?
Yeah. Personally, I like to renew my stuff quite a lot. But when I prepare for a set, so let's say, I'm just going to use techno as an example. On my hard drive, I've got, I think, 3,800 techno songs.
Okay.
And then for a set, so let's say I'm playing a 2-hour set. I will go through, depending on what other artists are before me and after me, I'll go through the music that I think that will be best suited for that time.
Okay.
The time of the day or evening that I'm playing, and the location that I'm playing at, and the people that I know are going to be in the area. I'll, from that information, I'll go and create a new playlist, and I wouldn't say like 50% of the songs, probably about 60% of the songs I'll cut out, and then from there I start putting things in order in terms of keys. So for example, I'll start at A and I'll mix all the way down to F, for example. Not that I'll necessarily have enough time to actually do that, because that's a long thing to go down. But it must change. You must Okay, yes, it must change, but you must also know what's changing and what you're changing and what you're bringing into it.
Yeah.
You, like, knowing your music is key. Like, for example, okay, sorry, Black Coffee is my favorite DJ. If you've ever watched a set of his, let's say he'll be playing on 3 CDJs and he'll be playing one song and it'll be like an arpeggiation or percussion or something like that of an end of a song, and he'll bring in a melody of a new song, and then he'll bring in a sample, but just the sample. So just the sample is basically just the sound, just like that could be a sample, and he can make things that shouldn't work together. Like he takes producing techniques into DJing. Which is unheard of, unseen, and that's what makes him stand out. So going down to your playlist and knowing what you're playing and knowing what the crowd wants without them knowing what they want is a very big part. So your
like
playlist is very
I've watched some of Black Coffee's performances, like when they like put them on YouTube and stuff, and like you can see he knows the next song that he's bringing in so well that he just, like, as you say, he uses like 1 or 2 samples, sort of introduces it while playing a song, and then the whole song comes in.
Yes.
And obviously, like, we know some of those songs like as tracks on their own, so then to hear how he mixes between tracks is like mind blowing.
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. That man is a magician with that one hand of his.
No, but even like artists like the Capo, if you like one of his, I can't remember. I think it's Indigo Child, the album that he put out on Apple Music. You can listen if you listen to it like track 1, then track 2, 3, 4. They all flow into each other.
They all follow. So if he takes I think it's the third song on the album, Independule. How do you say it? I'm not sure what the actual name is. If you listen to the end of the song, you can hear the next song, which is Kelela, starts. It goes Kelela, 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 and that's the beginning of the next song.
Yeah. But at the end of that song, it doesn't like, if you didn't know that there was another song coming, you would think it's just like the outro.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah, I think like producers like Black Coffee and the Couple and stuff, when they can do that, I'm like, okay, no, crazy. These guys know what they
actually like
what
all of them, from Kususa to Black Motion. They all bring a different element, which is very unique and powerful in a sense. Like in a sense, people want to pay attention. People want to listen.
Yeah. So who are your like inspirations when it comes to music? Like
for me, definitely Gabs the Small.
Yeah.
Because for me, music, like it started, you know, like your African kind of deep house.
Yeah.
So as a light D, I mean, like I've just been listening to deep houses, you know, like townships, that kind of vibe. So that's where literally for me DJing started basically. But I just never had, you know, the equipment for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty expensive, you know.
Yeah.
But the only equipment I had, I'm sure everyone always has it, like virtual DJ.
Yeah.
So like my cousins, when I was still young, they taught me that. So ever since then, like just play around with that. But like I said, that's for when it really started is when I bought that controller.
Yeah.
Then everything kicked off from there, bro.
Yeah. So like at the moment, who are your like top 3 artists, let's say like in the genre of Amapiano?
For me, definitely Gabs. I don't know if you know Emma Farah Souls. They also do Amapiano. Then for me, and Jazzy Disciples. So
But those are also more matured sounds.
Yeah, more matured sounds.
Because you can go back down to someone that's more like our age, but they're still banging the same genre, like Vigor Deep.
Yeah. So like, how do you think you guys are gonna adjust performing? Okay, I'm not trying to say that Amapiano is gonna die out, but other genres in South Africa, like they come up, people are blasting them in the clubs, you know, and then they sort of die out, and a new genre comes in. Like, are you guys able to change your sound?
So that's what I would call a phase DJ. A person who DJs in phase of what's popular.
Yeah.
There you're chasing clout. Again, that's a person, someone DJing for the wrong reasons. You're looking for popularity. If you're actually doing it for the music, having to change your music wouldn't be an issue. Because if you have a love for music, you'll always want to hear new music.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying, you want your music library, your music knowledge to grow. So, if personally, I don't really want Amapiano to die out, but like, if it did, then it does.
Yeah.
Like if it does, then it does. Then we'll adapt to what comes on next. It's the same thing. So what was first? Kwaito. Kwaito was first, and that was huge. And then Gom came, and then that was huge. And then Amapiano came, and now that's huge. But that doesn't mean the other genres still aren't there.
Yeah.
So like, if a new sound did come, I think yes, we would definitely have to adapt, but still be able to maintain our skill with our old genres.
Yeah.
Because you never know like when you're gonna like actually like mix and match. So like for example, like at Slushy last year, I went from hip hop to Amapiano to Afrotech to techno in one set, and then all the way back.
Sure. Yeah.
And made it a seamless mix.
Yeah.
So it's about piecing things together. It's a story.
Like knowing enough music and like to be able to spread between everything.
Exactly. And also appealing to everyone. You understand what I'm saying? So not just like there's a huge thing that goes on with DJs when they feel like they've gotten to a certain point, they feel like they're entitled and people shouldn't tell them things. Like, say now I'm at the top of the game in the DJing industry and I'm playing piano, but like piano dies out. Obviously, I'm not going to be at the top of the industry anymore because piano's dying out. So if I don't adapt, I'm also going to die out. Type of thing. So it's
But like, is it? I mean, for you guys, I know you guys are still like early in your careers, right? In terms of performing as a DJ. But how important is it, if you think in terms of money, right? Like, if you don't change and adapt to the new genre that people want to listen to, you're not gonna get booked for gigs.
Basically.
Right. So then, in that way, you're almost like forced to, okay, no, I have to adapt. I have to keep it moving forward, you know.
But to like people like us who actually appreciate music, that's also a benefit because that pushes the DJs or the phase DJs out of the picture. So you'll see like at certain times will be like a massive influx of just random ass DJs. And you only see them once or twice and then you never see them again.
So you guys want to create that longevity so that you can stay in the scene for as long as possible.
Yeah, but like not necessarily like just stay in the scene, be a part of the scene, be the scene. We're not trying to follow someone else's footsteps. We're trying to make new footsteps.
I get that. So what are the plans for this year coming forward, or going forward rather?
Definitely black to white. But
a little bit much more focus on that.
Much more, But also, I'm sure, like having that black to white, us as DJs, it will definitely push us, you know, get us out there. But definitely for the year, just black to white, pushing content, you know, getting more gigs, you know. I mean, that's the point, you know. But from my side, that's.
For me, personally, I never feel like not that I'm not good enough. There's always room for me to improve in DJing. So step one or first thing of 2020 would be to continue practicing to improve my skill. And actually pay more attention to what's going on around me in terms of music. Like in terms of producing, for example, now I'm producing melodic techno, okay? Only recently I realized that melodic techno is like, it's big overseas, but it's not something that you find here. So for me, I want to push a whole new market, a whole new sound. So I'm slowly developing my certain marketing strategies to get that right, and hopefully the music box will also help with that. By the way, I can give you the date. It's the 16th.
The 16th of
May.
Okay. Oh,
but
something
location,
to look forward to.
but location and artists are still undisclosed. But
that's
definitely that. And then, as Lee said, more content. I want to start this thing of, everyone is so focused on music videos and whatnot. In music videos, you don't really see what the artist actually does. It's more just something to relate to, or something that they think you will find interesting. Like if you take the Jack Boy's new album, if you look at the visuals on that album, it's like visually entertaining, visually pleasing. It's very cool to look at, but you don't see what's going on. Now for DJs, okay, so for a person like me, the only way I'll get to actually play the music that I produce is to DJ. And you don't get music videos and stuff like that. So I want to take it does happen in Europe, but not like massive amounts. I want to start filming like exclusive events, like let's say we go to the top of a building, only 10 people invited, it's a listening party,
and then you
Things
film
like
that and put it out there so
yes.
people can also experience it.
And then from that, like that creates it creates that need in the market of people feel like they need to experience that, because not everyone can. So definitely that, and growing after dark as a team, growing the actual grind, because to us that's home base. Shout out to the grind and to Snow himself for blessing us with all the opportunities that they have and putting us on with all the gigs and everything.
Yeah.
That's our goal for 2020 for now.
Yeah, for me also, I also enjoy the grind. Like I feel like it's like the place I'd go if I had to choose anywhere in Pretoria. You know, the grind is like, I mean, the atmosphere is nice. Then you guys come with the right music. it's just a vibe, you know.
Deliver, man.
Yeah,
deliver.
Yeah. Oh, we always try our best to, always never let them down. You know, when that energy comes through, we go mad. I don't know if you've ever seen us behind stage. We literally go crazy, hug each other, grab each other.
But
yeah, I know. But that's what we live for. Those good times, those good vibes. Yeah.
And sorry, I must add another thing for 2020 is developing relationships with other people in the industry. One thing I must say that I've realized, going toward like in context to what I'm speaking about, is that a lot of DJs, they don't want to help each other out. It's a very selfish thing, which is sad because it should be for the love of music and not for greed and popularity and stuff like that. So when what was I saying? It just slipped my mind. I'm sorry.
No, just like in terms of how DJs don't really help each other.
Yeah.
You think
so like
they should be more like inclusive of everybody.
So like I'm gonna take Dollar for example.
Okay.
He didn't really know how to DJ, but we helped him. To learn and stuff like that. It's difficult to explain this one.
Yeah, but like you gave him the time of day type of thing, and you're like, no, look, this is how you do it.
Yes, exactly.
Showed him one or two things.
Exactly. And now if you look where he is, yes, he has improved a lot, and now he's performing at After Dark events. Yeah. So he's progressed.
It's good to like
that.
Like you're building up someone who can like be alongside you guys, you know.
And like you never know if that can help you in the future. Like let's say, okay, Lee works at Social Club, like just for example, and I'm at the grind, right? And eventually Lee gets as big as Black Coffee, but we have a huge hatred for each other. Yeah. But he thinks my music is good. He'll never book me. Yeah. Yeah. We will never play in the same, like alongside each other.
Yeah, no, it's important to keep the...
Yeah, but if you have...
the relationships.
A really good relationship, and he gets to that point and he's like, this guy's music should be here as well. He will, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the DJing scene shouldn't just be a scene, it should be a community. It should be like a government of music in a sense. Yeah. Like, because we control what people listen to and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No, I completely.
So like helping each other out and stop the fighting and the jealousy and.
Because the one thing I would say, like, it's in this industry, I'd say like greed is it's out there. Like, as DJ, like we should be helping each other out, you know, not trying to. How can I say, like
put each other down,
you know, but to build relationship, like, you know, push. But for me, it'll be more for my circle. I'll always make sure that my circle, like we're pushing, you know. Yeah. But if I don't know you, then I won't focus on you a lot. Yeah.
But I think at all times, just like show love to everybody, you know.
I mean at the same time, like people are showing you massive amounts of love and they don't know you from a bar soap. Yeah. And now they're all standing in front of you, not forced to watch you. They're standing there willingly watching you. Yeah. And they could be doing anything with their time. Yeah. So the least we could do is reciprocate what they give to us. And yes, like sometimes we do come across as like asses when people come and make song requests. That's like something that you don't do
you have to
nowadays.
just deal with it, you know?
Yeah, you have to be in the moment.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that's also like kind of hurts you because you think you have like a good lineup of music or whatever prepared and stuff, and someone is just like, "Now play this track actually."
Yes, that, but it actually gets worse than that. I want to take this past Friday, for example, when we were playing at the Grind. My first set was at 10 o'clock, and I'm busy playing hip hop, and I started with that new song by Travis Scott, Pop Smoke, and Jack Boy's Gotti.
Yeah.
And some girl came to me, which was quite a bit older than myself, and asked me to play Kelly Clarkson. I was like, no. Like, I honestly, I didn't know how to respond. I was like, I would never have Kelly Clarkson on my USBs to play the club, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't...
Yeah.
And
No,
then
that's
people
crazy.
think we assholes, but we're not. It's...
Yeah. No, I think like, I mean, we're touching on the thing of community, you know, like how you guys are trying to build that community of DJs. I'm like, in general, like us here at Lens Lane, we're trying to build a community of Pretoria, like at large, you know.
Yeah.
So like have all sections, you know, like you guys as performers, like doing nightlife scene, then we touch on like photographers, all that type of thing. Because, like I think we can grow a lot quicker and better if we're working together.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so say now I'm hosting, the Music Box. I don't DJ, I'm just an event host. But I know him as a DJ and I know you as a videographer.
Yeah.
I'm sorted.
Yeah.
There's a DJ, an event sorted with a videographer.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. You see, then we can do big things like...
Definitely.
Yeah. And even like, as you said, like having good relationships with everybody, you know, then not to say like we work for free for each other, but, you know, you can help each other grow. Because then one day when you expand to other areas and work for other people, then they pay you like the big bucks, you know, like they can see, okay, you guys you know what you're doing, you know what I mean?
I think that's also, one thing that's a major misconception is like, a lot of people think that when you start DJing, like it's just racks of money. It's not like that when you start whatsoever. I mean, you go for long without being paid a single cent. You spend like 400 Rand a night just to get to your club.
Yeah.
Where they're like, your payment is to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you have to make a name for yourself. And I mean, it's only now recently where us ourselves have been recognized, and they're like, okay, we must actually start paying you. Like, you've gotten to the point where we can't not.
Yeah, I think like hopefully through things like this, where we sort of create like more professional like images of ourselves as like producers or as like a photographer or whatever, you know, like through platforms like the podcast, then people in our area, like in Pretoria, for example, can see like, oh no, these guys are getting a following of some kind. They are like legit, you know. Okay, they deserve to get money. Because at the end of the day, like you guys performing at the Grind brings the Grind so much business, for an example, you know. So other venues and other people in all like sections of life need to notice that. Like we need to value each other, basically what I'm trying to say. You know?
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about just bringing people together.
Yeah.
Just valuing each other's values, believing in each other's values, respecting each other's values, respecting other people's opinions. Like, yes, I want to try and, like, for example, yes, I want to try and bring people together with music, but if you just genuinely don't like techno, for example, then I can't force you to like it, and it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone is going to like you at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's also like going along with what you said, like when you get to the point of you've reached a certain level, that level also comes with a certain point of dislike from other people, where other people become jealous of you, so they'll try and put your name down or. Yeah,
but I think that type of thing. Yeah, it's all, but it's like I try to look at that sort of a thing always like those people who are hating have something that they're insecure about, or like that's not cracking in their life, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing something really good and people are hating on you for that, you can't do anything about that, you know. You should just keep it moving, you know, keep growing. And,
Which is true, but like, I mean, it can get difficult after a certain amount of time when people start saying things. Okay, not that it's happened to us yet.
No.
Yeah.
But
I get what you're
seen it
saying.
happen.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen to other people, and it's just like it gets ugly. And it's what
Yeah.
we're trying to avoid. We community of love and music.
Yeah, keep the good vibes.
Yeah.
No, but thanks for coming through and sharing what you guys have shared. You know.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you
Anytime.
coming on.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. Getting the opportunity to like promote ourselves, our brands. After Dark, Push Home Base, The Grind Barney, Hatfield, Pretoria, on Glenwood Road.
Yeah, and Music Box coming up soon.
Yeah, Music Box coming up 16th of May. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything.
Yeah,
also catch my songs on Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere else.
We'll list all the tags and everything in the description of the videos. But yeah, thanks for coming on, and hopefully we can talk again soon, like maybe in another 6 months or something.
Definitely.
Things
Sounds good.
Yeah,
at another
just keep in
step in your
contact with
careers.
us. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's been the Lens Lane podcast. Thanks for listening or watching, and follow these guys. All their details will be listed below. And thank you. Cheers.
I will.
Peace out.